Hey guys, let's make, well, a wreath. Well, it's not really a wreath.
So for this craft, the first thing I did was I bought some of these. These were a 2-pack. I got them at Dollar Tree. There were 2 of these. I just need one of them for this project. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cover it in just regular white paper with some glue and some Mod Podge so that I can then paint it. And I want to give it kind of a distressed gold leaf kind of look. So I'm going to wrinkle the paper up before I put it on here to give it a wrinkly kind of look. And then I'm going to paint it with some gold metallic paint. So I've got it coated in the paper, and now I'm going to add the gold metallic paint. I picked up this paint at Dollar Tree, and they have a couple different shades of it, but I'm going to paint it with the gold metallic paint now. Okay, so while my container is drying, I've got the gold paint on it, and while it's drying, I'm going to go ahead and take these flowers here, and I'm going to clip them back with my wire cutter. Now, I'm going to cut my flowers. I got this one right here. I think it's this one right here already started. Yeah. Okay, so one thing I did was I went ahead and I took the tag off, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second, how I do that. And then I go ahead and I push the green leaves up to the top. And I'm going to keep the green leaves. Some people take them off. I keep them on because I'm going to try to cover up the container, the edge of the container. And I'll show you what I mean by that. But I'm going to cut them off. I'm going to start by cutting them off down here. I may have to cut them shorter when I arrange them, but I'm going to cut them all off, and I'm going to take the tag off. When I'm taking the tag off, it's easier for me to take the tag off by taking the flower off. So you just pull the flower off. I use my foot here, kind of get it some that. Get the flower off, grab a hold of the tag, pull the tag off, and then I can put the flower back on, and then I can cut them off the stems, and I'll have them individual little flowers. Now, there's something a little interesting about these flowers here. Some of these are like this one that just has one flower on the stem, but some of these are like this where they've got the 2 on the stem. And what I do is I take them off, and I have some extra stems that I save so I can actually put these 2 on individual stems, and I kind of have like more flowers, more individual flowers, because I have more stems of flowers. Now these burgundy-ish red colored flowers, you can tell they're a little crushed. They were kind of poked in there real tight. But don't worry, all I'm going to do is just fluff them out when I get ready, and they'll be fine. Just fluff them out. And I really like this velvety kind of texture here next to this really glittery, sparkly kind of texture. It's going to look really cool. The texture is going to look really good together. And so you can see once they're fluffed out, they're fine. Just have to fluff them out a little bit. Kind of just fold the petals down a little bit to the side, and they'll fluff out just fine. And like I've said before, true crafters never throw anything away. Extra stems that I saved from another project, I can take these little flowers off of these, put them on these stems, and I have 4 more flowers to use. So the box that I've got the gold on, the paper and the gold on, it's still drying. So I'm going to use this one just to get the idea of how it's going to fit. It's the exact same box. The other one's just covered in gold paper. And I'm going to use it when the paper is dry. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and do the arrangement. And you could hot glue your foam into your container here. I'm not going to hot glue mine in though, because that way I can save the arrangement and I can switch it out. I can take this arrangement out after Christmas, and I could make a spring arrangement or some other like Valentine arrangement, put it in there and hang it up. So I'm going to switch and make it where I can switch out the arrangement by not hot gluing the foam into the actual container. And I'm going to do the arrangement here, and I'm just going to do a regular flower arrangement. Now, a lot of people talk about right ways and wrong ways to do things. I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way to do flower arrangements. I'm going to show you how I do mine, and you can do yours my way, or you could do it different. But the way I start is I start on the outside edge, and I like to do the shortest ones first, and I like to go around the entire outside edge to cover it. Now the back of this box here, this side, and I call this the back because it has these little raised edges here, this part is going to face the wall, so it doesn't necessarily have to be covered. So I'm going to make sure that this edge, and this edge are really covered up well, and then I'm going to build it inward, and I'll show you how I do that. So I start by just starting around the edge, spacing out the different colors evenly, and I push them in until they touch this edge right here. I push them straight in, starting real low, until they touch the edge right here. And I'm going to do the same thing until I cover this whole edge evenly with the different colors of flowers. And so now you can see that the whole edge is covered. You can see the edge of the pot is like going to be covered now. And that's how it looks on the inside. Now for the next layer, the layer behind these, I'm actually kind of turning the flowers. I'm kind of bending them a little bit forward because this is going to have a front. This is going to be the front, and then the back is going to be against the wall. So you don't really need any facing that way because it's going to be against the wall. You want them all kind of facing this way or like turned toward the side because the sides are going to show, but the back is not going to show. Okay, so you can see for the next layer up, I just went a little further back in the styrofoam. So I kind of go a little further back with it, turn them just a little bit less facing that way. And it's like you're building it up. You're building it up from the front to the back and from the bottom to the top. Got one more layer and then it'll be completely covered like a little dome kind of a shape of flowers. Okay, so this is the final flower arrangement here. And you can see that once I put it in the gold container, it's gonna look really good. It's gonna have a complete look to it. Okay, so you can see what the front of it looks like. The back doesn't look that good because like I said, the back's not gonna show. It's gonna be facing the wall. This is the back. Okay. They're very evenly spaced. I try to make sure that from the front, it looks very even. The back doesn't have to look even as long as the front looks even, right? So when you look at the front's what's going to show. The front needs to look nice and even. And these are the colors I chose. You could use different colors, different kinds of flowers, and you don't have to arrange it like I did it. This is just the way I'm doing it. Okay, so you can see how I did this little basket. I covered it in the paper, and then I just used some gold metallic paint and made it gold. And what I can do now is I can take my little arrangement that I did before in the other basket, take it out of that basket, and just sit it down in here. And look how perfect that is. It's just absolutely perfect, okay? And the great thing about this is if I get tired of this arrangement or I want to do a different season, I can do another arrangement, same kind of thing, take this one out, put the other one in, and the gold will be a nice kind of neutral to use behind it. Okay, so for the last part of this project, you're going to need a regular wreath hanger, and the part of the wreath hanger that we're going to be really working with is going to be this end. And I'm going to fold it, we're going to bend it and fold it, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So what you want to do is you want to bend the bottom part here so that it is as flat as you can get it, and it's about the width of this, and you're going to hot glue it to the middle of the bottom of your basket. This is just the basket that we painted, and I'm going to hot glue this to the middle of the bottom of the basket, just like that. Okay, so once you get it hot glued on, it should look like this. Now, I do have a little area here where some of this hot glue is showing. I'm going to take some of this gold paint, I'm going to paint over that right there just so it won't show as much. So this is your final look, and you can see you could hang it in lots of different places. If I was going to hang it on something like this, I'd want to have two for symmetry, but the idea is you can make it and you can hang it anywhere you want to. And it's just an interesting take on a wreath. So this is where I finally decided to put it, and I think it looks good there. Looks pretty good there as you come in my entrance. This is my entrance, and this is where it is. It's just a little Christmas decor for Christmas.